everyone, welcome back to my channel Study With Me. Today I'm going to explain about Chemistry Higher Level Paper 1 November 2021. If you find this video is helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and let your other friend knows about my channel to support me. And let's get how much ethanol contains 1.2 times 10 to the power 24 atoms of carbon, and Avogadro's constant is known. To find how much ethanol contains atom carbon, so you need to find the mole, which is 2 times 1.2 times 10 to the power 24 divided by Avogadro's number, which is 6.02 times 10 to the power 23. 2, it comes from, there are 2 C in ethanol, so that would be 1 mole. 3 mole of C3H8 is mixed with 20 mole of oxygen. Which quantity is present at the end of the reaction? So initially, it will have 3 mole for C3H8, and this is 20 mole. All right. So for how many mole that is reacted? So C3H8 is acting as a limiting reactant because number of mole is very low. So this will be finished. There is no more excess. And for oxygen, that would be 5/1. So 5, the coefficient of known, unknown divided by coefficient known. So times 3 mole known. Okay. So that would be 15. So 20 minus 15 will be 5 mole of oxygen. The 2 containers shown are connected by a valve. What is the total pressure after the valve is open and the 2 gas samples are allowed to mix at constant temperature? The first container, it contains the first container contains 4 decimeter cube and pressure 2 times 10 to the power 5 Pascal. And the second one is 2 decimeter cube for volume and pressure is 3 times 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Okay, so before mixing, that would be P1 V1 is equal to N1 RT. And the second container, that would be P2 V2 equals to N2 RT. So when you open the valve, this will be a total 4 mole because it will combine, right? So after mixing, when the valve is open, so PV and RT, so PV will be N1 plus N2 RT. RT is constant, so let's separate them. N1 RT plus N2 RT. So this will be PV as well. Alright, so if we make it, or like assume this as PV, okay, because PV equal to N1 RT plus N2 RT, so we can say P1 V1. This one will be P2 V2. Okay, so PV equals to PV1 PV V1 plus P2 V2. So if we divide them by V, there's no more V, so you divide them by V. Okay, so that would be P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by first V plus second V. So that would be 2, okay, I will just put it here, 2 times 10 to the power to the power 5 times 4 plus 3 times 10 to the power 5 times 2 divided by 4 times 2. You will get 2.3 times 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Which species has 2 more neutrons than electron? So proton here 3, electron 2, neutron 3, proton here 4, electron 2, neutron 5, proton here 11, electron 10, neutron 12, proton here 20, electron here 18, neutron here 20. So this one has 2 more neutrons than electron. Which statement explains the second ionization energy of aluminum is higher than the first ionization energy of magnesium? So for aluminum, that would be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. And for Mg, that would be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. But the question is, for the second ionization energy of aluminum, it means 2 plus, and for the first ionization of magnesium, so plus 1. Therefore, we need to make it here 3s1, so plus 2, okay, there is no 3p1, so 3s1 as well. Alright, so they have the same electron configuration then now, because aluminum lose 2 electron and magnesium lose 1 electron. But the thing is, aluminum has more proton. Still, it has more proton compared to magnesium because the atomic number is 13. Therefore, both have the same number of electron, and aluminum has 1 more proton. Which ion has the largest radius? Here is 2, 8. Here is 2, 8, because lose 2 electron. Here 11, 12, and this one 15, and this one 16. So this will be 2, 8, 8 because 3 minus, so add more, 3 more electron. Here will be 2, 8, 8 as well because it add 2 more electron. But the thing is, for sulfur, it has more proton. So the electron attraction between nucleus and valence electron is greater. It will cause smaller radius compared to phosphorus, because phosphorus has more proton, so the attraction between the nucleus and the valence electron is lesser. So the largest atomic radius will be this one. Which combination describes the acid-base nature of aluminum and phosphorus oxide? Okay, aluminum is amphoteric. Okay, so between A and D. It can react with both acid and basic. And it also will form, for phosphorus, it will form acidic oxide because it comes from non-metal. For basic oxide, it comes from metal like group 1 or 2, for example, MgO or Na2O. Which complex ion contains an central ion with an oxidation state +3? So PtCl6 2 minus. Let's calculate. So Cl -6, the total should be -2. So this should be +4. For Cu H2O 4 OH2, okay, it should be equal to 0 because there is no charge. So -2 for OH. H2O is neutral, so 0. So should be 0. Cu, it's +2. The third one should equal to +2. So H2O is 0, and H3 also 0, should be equal to +2. So Ni is +2. And for this one, Cl is -2, should be equal to +1, yeah? Because there's plus right here. So NH3 is 0, then should be +3 because it should be equal to +1. Therefore, the answer is D. Which combination would create the strongest ionic bond? Electrostatic attraction weaker in large ions than smaller ions, so favor small radius. Okay, and the greater charge on the ion, the stronger ionic bond has the greater electrostatic force. Which compound contains both ionic and covalent bond? For CH 3COO negative and Na plus. Okay, here it has covalent bond, and between these two it has ionic bond. What if CH3COOH? So it's only covalent. K2O, it's ionic. CaCl2 is also ionic. The following compounds have similar relative molecular mass. What is the order of increasing boiling point? Okay, if we check the structure of first propanol, okay, propanol, this one, CH3 and CH2, COH, it has polar C bond, so it has only dipole. And for propanol, okay, this one, propanol, this one, yeah, CH3, CH2, CHOH. So it has polar CO, so it has dipole, and it has hydrogen bond as well. Okay, hydrogen bond. And for the ethanoic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, so it has polar CO and also C single bond O and hydrogen bonding. So the dipole forces is strongest here compared to this one, even though both of them has hydrogen bond, but it differs by the dipole forces, because it has double bond and then single bond. So that's why the answer is B. Ethanoic acid is difficult to boil compared to propanol. Which molecules contain 2 pi bonds? HCN and then HOCO and then H2CO3 and H2C2O4, that would be HOC double bond O, C double bond O, OH. So it has it has 1 pi and 1 pi, so it contains 2 pi. This one contains 2 pi. This one contains only 1 pi bond. So the answer is B. What is the hybridization of nitrogen and chlorine? NCl, Cl, Cl3. So it has 1 pair of electron and 3 bonds right here. So it's 4 domain. So 4 domain should be sp3. And for Cl, it has also 3 lone pairs. So 4 domain as well. So it's sp3. Which combustion reaction released the least energy per mole of C3H8 given approximate bond enthalpy for O double bond O, C double bond O, and C triple bond O? We don't need to get involved with this because all of them are the same. So only this. Therefore, that would be 5 O double bond O becomes 6 C double bond O, because you know CO. So it's 2 and then it's 3, so 6. And for this one is 9/2 O double bond O, 4 C double bond O plus C triple bond O, this one. And for this one, 4 double bond O becomes 2 C double bond O plus 2 C triple bond O. And this one will be 7/2 O double bond O, 3 C triple bond O. Alright, if we do the calculation, A, will be 5 times 500 minus 6 times 800 will be negative 2300. For B, 9 over 2, 500 times 500 plus, negative 4 times 800 will be negative 100, 9050. And for C, 4 times 500 minus 2 times 6, 800 will be negative 1600. And for D, 7 over 2 times 500 minus 3 times 1000, it will be negative 1250. So this is the least one. Which equation represents the standard enthalpy of formation of lithium oxide? The reactants must be in their standard state for the formation of a molecule. In this case, B will be the answer because Li is in standard state, and then oxygen also will be in the standard state, forming lithium oxide. Consider the Born-Haber cycle for the formation of sodium oxide. This will be direct route, and this will be indirect route. Okay, so as it has the opposite direction, so this will be negative 414, and you can see that it has the same direction, so all of them will be positive. And don't get confused with this one. This one also, it has the same direction with this. Okay, so this also will be positive, and this, it will stay negative because it goes down. Okay, so that would be negative 440 plus 790. The answer will be A. In which of the following situations is the forward reaction spontaneous? Delta G equal to negative RT ln K. It means that if K is smaller than 1, ln K will be negative. Delta G will be positive. If K bigger than 1, ln K will be positive and delta G will be negative, spontaneous. If K equal to 1, ln K will be 0, delta G will be 0. The system is at equilibrium. Therefore, in which of the following situation is the forward reaction spontaneous? Delta G should be negative, ln K will be positive, and K should be bigger than 1. Which instrument would best monitor the rate of this reaction? It's colorimeter because it reacts with Cl2 chlorine water. Chlorine water has a color yellow greenish, even though Ki is a colorless, but once it mixes with the chlorine water, it will have a color. And colorimeter absorbs a portion of the light to the color intensity. So colorimeter is the best instrument to monitor the rate of the reaction. Which combination has the greatest rate of reaction at room temperature? So rate of reaction between powder and strip, of course powder has a larger surface area, so faster reaction. If we check amount of mole right here, it will be the same, 0.01, and this one also 0.01. But the difference is it has less volume and higher concentration. Therefore, it will have higher rate of reaction compared to higher volume and less concentrate. Okay? Which graph shows a first order reaction? It's this one. For this one is the second order, this one 0 order, and this one also 0 order. Okay? So this between rate of reaction, reactant concentration, the line will be like this for 0 order. And between reactant concentration versus time, this will be 0 order also. And this one, second order. And this one, first order. The rate equation for reaction is K, A to the power 1, and B to the power 1. Which mechanism is consistent with this rate equation? So we need A and B. On the reactant here, 2A. So A to the power 2. No. Here we have A, and then B. So 2A, only one. So no. Now for C, we have both A and B, A and B. The intermediate is I. Okay, so we need A and B. But what's the difference between C and D? For C, the formation of I as an intermediate from reactant A and the subsequent reaction of the intermediate with reactant B in the fast step. It means that only reactant A will affect the reaction rate, not B because it's fast. And for D, even though the first one is fast, but P, which is connected to A, will not be happen if there is no B. In the fast step, as it involves the formation of an intermediate I from the reactant B in the fast step, followed by the reaction of this intermediate with reactant A in the slow step. That's why B is counted here. Therefore, the answer is D. A reversible reaction has a reaction quotient Q of 4.5 and equilibrium constant Kc of 6.2. So Q is smaller than Kc. It means the concentration of reactant bigger than concentration of product. So it will be forward reaction. If it's K smaller than Kc, the concentration of product will be bigger than reactant. So that would be reverse reaction. Okay, so which statement describes the reaction at this time? The rate of the forward reaction is greater than the rate of the reverse reaction. The graph shows Gibbs free energy of a mixture of N2O4 and NO2 in different proportion. Which points show the system at equilibrium? It's B. Okay, so this one is Gibbs free energy of pure product. Okay, and if you take out here and this one, this you will get delta G for D reaction. And for D is Gibbs free energy of pure reactant. As it goes down, so delta G negative in this reaction. So B, G is a minimum at equilibrium. So this one at equilibrium position. Which ions are present in aqueous solution of Na2CO3? The answer is D. So when Na2CO3 dissociate, it will produce Na plus and CO3 2 minus. And it's aqueous, so CO3 2 plus also will react with water. That would produce HCO3 minus and OH minus. So 3 of them are presented in aqueous solution of Na2CO3. What is the pH of 0.01 molar KOH? So POH will be negative log 10 to the power negative 2, which is 2. pH is 14 minus 2, which is 12. What is a possible value of pH at the equivalence point in the titration of a strong acid and a weak base? Strong, okay, I'll write down here. Strong acid versus strong base. The equivalent point is at 7. Weak acid, strong base, it's bigger than 7, around 8 to 11. If it's strong acid versus weak base, that would be 5, 7. So we can say it's around 5. What is correct for pure hot water? As the temperature increases, more water will dissociate. The Kw increases, so pH will be slightly decreases, so below 7. Okay, but water still remain neutral, is not becoming slightly acidic. So the concentration of H plus still equal to OH minus. What is the change in the oxidation state of oxygen? So here H2O2 for hydrogen peroxide, it's a exceptional, so this will be +2, -2, so -1. Okay, and for this one, +2, -2. Consider this voltaic cell where Cu is a more reactive metal than Ag. So Cu will experience oxidation, and that would be in anode, and this one will be reduction, and that would be cathode. Okay, so for voltaic cell, the movement of electron from anode, negative electrode, to cathode, positive electrode. Okay, so from anode to cathode. All right, so this one will lose electron, this one will gain electron as a reduction. The question now, which combination describes the movement of charge in this cell? Okay, so that would be from Cu to Ag. Cu to Ag, between these two. Okay, because from anode to cathode. But what about flow of negative ion? Okay, let me explain. So Cu2 plus is will produce a lot right here because, you know, oxidation, so it will lose electrons, so becomes Cu2 plus right here, and the electron that produced by or lose by Cu will flow to cathode, so that would have a lot of electron right here. So the concentration of Cu2 plus increases in the solution, and it lose electron, and electron flow from anode to cathode. So the part will be 2 positive and this part will be 2 negative. Okay, so we need an ion, which is negative charge, to flow to here to neutralize this area. We need cation to flow to here, okay, to neutralize this 2 negative area. Therefore, flow of negative ions will be towards Cu. Okay, consider the following standard electrode potential. Which species will react with each other spontaneously under standard condition? So at this one, Zn2 plus Pb will be Zn and plus Pb2 plus. So the electrode potential will be -0.76 minus 0.13, which is -0.63. This one will not have a reaction because all electron in the reactant. Same with this one, the electron in the products. So for Pb plus Br2, Pb plus Br2 will produce Pb2 plus 2 Br minus. So that would be 1.09 minus -0.13 is 1.22 volt. So spontaneously, because it's positive. Which aqueous solutions produce oxygen gas during electrolysis? It has dilute CuCl2, dilute FeSO4, and dilute CuCl2. Okay, so dilute CuCl2 with copper electrode, that would be only Cu. So Cu is produced at the cathode, and Cu2 plus will be at the anode. So there's no oxygen, will not be generated. So no 3. By default, we can actually answer A because this 3 has 3 in it. But why 1 and 2 produce oxygen? Let me explain. For the first and second, okay, Cu2 plus and Fe2 plus, Cu2 plus and Fe2 plus will be at the Fe2 plus will be at the anode. Compete with H plus because dilute, there's H2O, okay? And it has SO4 and then Cl, SO4, 2 minus, Cl minus, and H2O because it has here. Okay, that would be at the cathode. Water, it has less E value gets produced because it is diluted, and H2O always produce oxygen. Therefore, 1 and 2. So because dilute and it has H2O, so diluted always produce oxygen. What is the name of this substance using IUPAC rules? It has OH and it has this. So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be the same. So OH should be on the lowest C number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So 2 ol, 3 ethyl, and 5 propane. Okay, so 3 ethyl propane, 2 ol. Which pair of compounds are structural isomers? So the formula for propane is CnH2n plus 2. Propene alkene CnH2n. No. Propanol CnH2nO. CnH2nO. H2NO as well. So the answer is B. But for propanol, CnH2n plus 2O, and propanol CnH2nO. So no. Propylpropanoate, it's for propylpropanoate will be CnH2nO2, and for carboxylic acid is CnH2nCOOH. Okay, what is the general formula of alkynes? This one alkane, this one alkene. The answer is C. There is no formula for any hydrocarbon. Which statement is correct about configurational isomers? Configurational isomers, its interconversion requires breaking and forming bond that will produce the stereoisomers and enantiomers. So it will be A. Which product is formed when CH3COCH2CH3 is reduced with sodium borohydride? Okay, so this one, it's actually butanone. Okay, it's ketone. So ketone, when it's being reduced, okay, that would be alcohol, but secondary alcohol, because primary alcohol, when it is oxidized, becomes aldehyde and then carboxylic acid, and then when it reduces, it goes back to aldehyde and then primary alcohol. But for the ketone, so secondary alcohol, when it is oxidized, will produce ketone, and then when it reduces, it goes back to the secondary alcohol. So this carboxylic acid, this primary alcohol, this secondary alcohol, this primary alcohol. The answer is C, because OH is on the second C, so it's secondary alcohol. Number 37, which attacking species is matched with its mechanism of reaction? OH is nucleophile, and for B, it's electrophile. And for C, neither electrophile or nucleophile, as all its atoms have complete noble gas configuration. Okay, for NO2+, it's obviously electrophile when it reacts with benzene, chlorobenzene. So the answer is D. What is the slope of the graph? I will take this two. So M will be y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that will be 0.05 minus 0.1 divided by 60 minus 40 will be 0.05 divided by 20. So you produce negative 0.0025. Okay, what can be deduced from the mass spectrum of CH3COCH2CH3? All right, so molecular mass here will be C5H10O, which is 86. So this will discard the answer A. The atoms have many isotopes. No, it is a molecule, so discard. The most likely bond to break is C between carbons 2 and 3. Okay, so carbons 2 and 3. Then if we break this one, the number of atom for this one will be 43. Okay, so C15 plus 12 plus 16. Okay, so that would give you 43. So this is 43. Therefore, this one is correct. The signal with the larger mass is due to the oxidation of ketone in the spectrometer. Also no. Which substance has the following HNMR spectrum? This, you can say that is 3 level, and this 2 level, and this 2 level, because they're almost the same. Okay, so let's draw the structure so we can see it clearly why the answer is ethyl ethanoate. So for propane, it has 2 signal, should be, right? Because this one is the same and this one is not, so not the answer. Propanol, okay, so for propanol, we'll have this one, no. Okay, see, this one, no. All right, so 1, 2, 3, we keep it. And for the C, it's butanoic acid. Butanoic acid. It will have 1, 2, 3, 4, then no. And for the fourth one, ethyl ethanoate, that would be CH3, COOCH2, CH3. So it will be here, here, and here. So that would be 3:2:3. And for this one is 3:2:1. Okay, so it match here more. All right, this is not 1 because it's almost similar to this. So if it's 1, should be a bit smaller. Therefore, for propanol, that's not the case. So that's why the answer, it's ethyl ethanoate. Alright, so that's all for the Chemistry Higher Level Paper 1, November 2021 explanation. If you find this video is helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and let your other friend knows about my channel as well to support me to explain more about other past papers. And thank you for watching. Bye.